Now, I've been in the crypto space for well over 5 years, and I've heard people around me say Bitcoin is too expensive. I heard it in 2015, 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 2020, and 2021, which is where we are now. Bitcoin is too expensive. That is what the lay public has been saying. That is what people around me have been saying since Bitcoin was first conceived in 2009. Now, let's have a look at the current price of Bitcoin. Just bear with me. So the current price of Bitcoin is in the region, as you can see here, of $37,000. Now, again, just a few years ago, I remember I had a meeting with someone, and at that point, let's have a look at this chart here. At that point, a few years ago, the price of Bitcoin was, I think it was around here, around $3,000. So it was December 2018 or thereabouts, and the price was $3,000. I was having a business meeting with someone, and we were talking about cryptocurrency and blockchain. And I said to him, this is not financial advice, but I've been looking at crypto for quite a long time, especially Bitcoin. And why don't you do some research and perhaps look at acquiring some Bitcoin? And what he said to me, I remember this as clear as if it was yesterday. What he said to me was, do you know what? The price of $3,000 is too expensive for Bitcoin. Why should I buy something for $3,000 when just a few years ago, if I pan back a few years, just a few years ago, the price of Bitcoin was just a couple of $100s. Even prior to that, if I pan back even further, the price of Bitcoin was just $10. There you go. In 2011, 2012, the price of Bitcoin was around $5, $10. Why should I invest in Bitcoin today when the price is $3,000? And I said to him, $3,000, in my opinion, is a very, very low price for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to shoot up in price. The price of Bitcoin is going to go up. Trust me, it's a limited supply. There's only 21 million Bitcoins that are ever going to be mined. Let's have a look at this. The maximum supply of Bitcoin is 21 million. Once we've hit the 21 million, no further Bitcoins will ever be mined. There's only 21 million out there. It's a limited supply. Currently, the circulating supply of Bitcoin is 18.7 million. There's not much to go now. 21 million is the maximum supply. And just based on basic economics, when there's limited supply, the price will go up. When the supply is limited, the price will go up. And that is the case for Bitcoin. It's a limited asset. So the price long term will always go up. And again, what he said to me was the price is too expensive. And guess what happened? After the price was $3,000, it went up to $20,000 in December 2017. So compared to $20,000, is $3,000 too expensive? At $20,000, many people were saying to me, Bitcoin is too expensive. And at that point, yes, I did agree with them, because we were just on the verge of coming into a bear market. But then my question is, compared to $20,000 in December 2017, compare that to the $65,000 we achieved recently. Is the $20,000 too expensive? Is this price here expensive compared to the price that we achieved in April 2021, where the price of Bitcoin hit almost $65,000? If you look at this chart here, we are going to see exactly the same thing again. And again, when the price of Bitcoin hits the six figures, I'm going to hear it again. It's too expensive. And I've been hearing this for a long, long time. Bitcoin is a limited supply asset. It is not too expensive. The price is yet to go up, and it's going to go up very, very quickly. Now, just a few days ago, our favorite Donald Trump, he was on air again, and he said that crypto seems like a scam. So the former president of the USA, Donald Trump, says crypto seems like a scam. And this was on the 7th of June, 2021. So if I just go back to my chart here, on the 7th of June, 2021, Bitcoin looked like it was recovering happily. And look what happened on the 7th of June. On the 7th of June, the price of Bitcoin actually, from its closing to its opening to its closing price, was actually a difference of 6% in the space of a day. And if you look at the difference in price, that was actually $2,000 plus, $2,200. But if I just look at the peak on the 7th of June to the lowest point, you can actually see how much the price of Bitcoin dropped by, and it was actually around $3,300, $3,400 in a space of one day. Now, since the 4th of June, if I include the 4th of June as well, we've seen the price of Bitcoin come down from $39,000. It almost hit the $40,000 mark, and it came down in just a few days. It came down to around $33,000, $34,000, which is a difference of almost $6,000. $6,000 in just a couple of days. That is a big difference in price. And then what happened then was that South Korea are now discussing crypto bills for the first time. And South Korea is not the only country that is considering crypto legislation. Many other countries are considering legislation. In fact, was it just on the 10th of June, El Salvador makes Bitcoin legal tender. El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender on Wednesday. Look at that. Now, that is huge. This is what we've been talking about for a very, very, very long time. El Salvador has made Bitcoin legal tender. So where are we going to go from here? Very soon, other countries in South America are going to accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as legal tender. We will see the same. Obviously, South Korea is talking about it. We're going to see the same in other countries. Europe will follow. The USA will follow. And once this happens, what do you think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin? Once this happens, what do you think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin, which is currently sitting at $37,000? The price of Bitcoin, trust me, will shoot through the roof. Okay, it looks like, but the price on Bitcoin looks very, very bearish at the moment. I agree. It looks like the price is coming down like crazy. But in the, if I just pan out, you can actually see that we are still going to go up, and we're going to go up very, very quickly. If I go back to December 2017, when we hit that peak of $20,000, prior to that, the price came down to $1,700 or $1,800, and it went up to a peak of around, let's have a look, around $5,000. And then from $5,000, it came down to around $3,000. So from $5,000, the price came down to $3,000. This is just prior to it hitting its peak in December 2017. So the price came down by around 40, 42, 43%. And then following that, obviously you've got the ebbs and flows of the market. Following that, the price shot up to $20,000. So it came down by about 40 or so percent. What we've seen here is the price hit $65,000 almost, and the price actually came down by just over 50%. So a bit stronger than the 42% we've seen before. But what's that telling us? History repeats. When it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to cryptocurrency, I'm a chartist. I like to see what's happened in the past, and we can judge what's going to happen in the future by looking at the historical perspective of cryptocurrency. And added to the behavior here, added to the data points we've seen before, add to that the possible fact that cryptocurrency could soon be legalized in many, many countries around the world, and you will see the price of Bitcoin, and it will shoot through the roof. Bitcoin jumps above $37,000. This was the news from the 9th of June. So is it the 9th of June today? I keep forgetting what date it is. Yeah, it's the 10th of June today. So this is the news from yesterday. Bitcoin jumps over $37,000 after El Salvador passes law to adopt it as legal tender. That is El Salvador. Now imagine if the UK passes a law to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Imagine if Germany, Australia, the USA does that. How fast do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to shoot up? it's going to go through the roof. At the moment, Bitcoin is showing signs of being very, very bullish. The price has obviously come down. It's still a good time to buy, in my opinion. I'm not going to give any trade ideas. I don't do that, but this is my opinion. Please do your own research. The price could well still come down yet. The price may come down to $30,000 there. It may still come down, but it may just shoot up from here. So the price could come down to $30,000 and then shoot up, or it may just start and go into a massive, massive bull run immediately or within the next few days. However, based on our analysis, I think the next few days are still going to be a little bit slow. So you still do have a chance, if you're not currently invested in Bitcoin, to consider looking at Bitcoin and definitely adding Bitcoin to your portfolio. At the moment, do you know that Bitcoin is being bought by smart hedge fund managers all over the world? Bitcoin is being bought by many, many firms in Wall Street, by billionaires all over the world. They're investing heavily into Bitcoin and other crypto assets. Central banks, whether you know this or not, governments around the world are buying Bitcoin at its low points. And many, many more countries are about to follow El Salvador and accept Bitcoin as legal tender. And when that happens, when banks openly say that, look, Bitcoin is okay, the price is expected to shoot through the roof. So please, if you're not invested in Bitcoin, do your own research. Get yourself some peace of mind and try and understand what is happening to Bitcoin. Now, every 4 years, when it comes to Bitcoin, we have something known as Bitcoin halving. So Bitcoin halving occurred in November 2012, July 2016, May 2020, and the next Bitcoin halving is going to be in the spring or thereabouts of 2024. So 3 years from today. So from May 2020 up until to about now, it's been bullish, but we've also had consolidation, which is what we're seeing at the moment. But we are going to become more bullish before the price drops, and it will drop sharply. Now, if you look at this, this is the Bitcoin price estimates, and this is based on previous movements after halving. So we're looking at the charts here again. Now look at this. The end of 2020, the price of Bitcoin was expected to be between $18,000 and $33,000. So if I go back to my chart and go to, sorry, what was that date again? That date was end of 2020. So let's go to the end of 2020. At the end of 2020, the price of Bitcoin was, let's have a look. It was a $28,000, $29,000. So it was well between those points, between $18,000 and $33,000. End of Q1 2021, between $36,000 and $60,000. Between $36,000 and $60,000 end of Q1 2021. So end of Q1, what's Q1? March, end of March 2021. Let's have a look at the price end of March 2021. Obviously, we have this data because this data has passed. The price was $59,000. $59,000. And look, that is between $36,000 and $60,000. End of Q2, $65,000 to $223,000. End of Q2, April, May, June. So end of this month, the price of Bitcoin is expected to be between $65,000 and $200,000. Look at that. So we are currently here. 1 second, wrong graph. We are currently here, 10th of June, and the price of Bitcoin is expected to surpass its peak within the next few weeks. If you look at this price estimate based on halving calculations. So the price is expected to go beyond its ATH, the all-time peak of $65,000 within the next few days, and certainly within the next few weeks. Let's have a look at the end of 2021. End of 2021, the price of Bitcoin is expected to be between $163,000 and almost $300,000. Now, looking at the prior data, the dates that have passed, this has been fairly accurate. So if I was to follow the example here, I would say we are expecting the price of Bitcoin to hit at least $100,000, if not more, maybe $200,000, $250,000 by the end of this year. So knowing this information and looking at the chart here, would you say to me that the price of Bitcoin is too expensive? Would you say to me, knowing what I've just shown you now, would you say to me that based on today's price of $37,000, that Bitcoin is too expensive? Is $37,000 too expensive compared to $200,000? I'm just looking at the chat box. So obviously no, the answer is no. And henceforth, based on that discussion we've just had, now is a great time to start looking at Bitcoin and looking at it seriously and to become invested in Bitcoin, which is the largest cryptocurrency in the marketplace. If I go back to CoinGecko, the second largest cryptocurrency in the marketplace, we all know it, Ethereum. The current price of Ethereum is around $2,500. And many pundits in the market are now talking about potentially the flippening process when Ethereum may potentially overtake Bitcoin as the largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization in the marketplace. That is known as flippening. And because Ethereum is an amazing coin, in fact, I think around 80-85% of coins on CoinGecko are based around Ethereum. So Ethereum is based around smart contracts. It's an amazing coin. And knowing what we know about Ethereum, we are expecting the price of Ethereum to shoot up as well. And it will potentially become bigger than Bitcoin. So Ethereum could potentially become bigger than Bitcoin. And currently, let's have a look. The current price of Ethereum is $2,500. It has been more bullish than Bitcoin. But again, we've had this big drop here where the price at its lowest point was under $2,000, currently $2,500. Again, this is my opinion. It's based on research that we've done. It's a good time, certainly, for you to look at Ethereum, potentially to buy into it. By the end of this year, we are expecting Ethereum potentially to hit the 5 figures, $10,000 plus. So imagine if you bought 1 ETH today for $2,500 and held it until the year end. This is a very conservative estimate. You will be looking at a profit of $7,500 in the space of 6 or 7 months. You can't complain, can you? That's a ×3. Now, imagine if you put $2,500 in your bank account, how much would you get back by the end of the year? You might get $5 back if you're lucky. $5, $7,500. Do your math. Which one would you prefer? And that's Ethereum. Obviously, you've got the same case for Bitcoin as well. And again, with Bitcoin, we're looking at what, $35,000, potentially going up to $200,000 plus. $200,000 plus. So if you bought one Bitcoin today, you could be sitting on a profit of around $160,000 by the end of the year. Again, this is not investment advice. This is my opinion based on calculations, based on looking at the charts going back a few months, and based on the data that we already have. So now is the best time as ever to start looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you have not yet looked at, please look at them as part of your portfolio, because they are amazing coins and they are going places. If you look at the dominance chart, Bitcoin dominance has come down from 70% in December 2020 to what it is at the moment at just over 40%. So it's come down by 30%. And the reason for that is that Ethereum is getting stronger, and also a lot of altcoins are also jumping into the marketplace. So the Ethereum dominance at the moment is around 18%. So definitely Ethereum has been looking very bullish, whereas Bitcoin is going in the reverse direction to Ethereum. And again, like I said before, Ethereum could potentially overtake Bitcoin in market dominance, and it's something to definitely be aware of, because the price of Ethereum will be impacted by this, and it could well shoot through the roof as well and hit those 5 figures again very, very soon. Now, if you look at the cycles that I've talked about many, many times, and if I just look at the example of 2017, we saw the 3 peaks that occurred in 2017, excuse me, and the highest peak, number 3, was when the price of Bitcoin actually hit almost $20,000, almost $20,000. At the moment, we've come out the first peak. We could potentially be heading towards the second peak, and also and then the third peak, which we are expecting to be the 6 figures. So that's where we are at with Bitcoin at the moment. Please just be aware that everything that we look at, all the charts that we look at, are indicating to us that we are potentially in a bear trap and not a bull trap. So a bear trap shows consolidation here, and that's where we are at the moment. We can see a bit of consolidation in the market. We've come down from $65,000. Bitcoin doesn't appear to be going anywhere, a little bit up, a little bit down every single day. So had we seen a much more parabolic shift here like this, then we could potentially have been in a bull trap. But because it's been very, very slow movement, the indication is that we are in a bear trap. And as we move forward here, the price again will become parabolic, and it will shoot to that 6 figures that we are talking about over and over and over again. Now, currently, inflation is set to go up because money is being printed over and over and over and over again. If you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a limited supply, like I said earlier, of 21 million. So the maximum circulation of Bitcoin is 21 million. You cannot print any more Bitcoin once the 21 million is done. You cannot produce any more Bitcoin, mine any more Bitcoin once we've hit the 21 million maximum supply. But when it comes to paper money, we've seen this with the dollar, with the pound, the value of money has come down immensely. I don't know if you've seen this chart before, but look at the purchasing power of the US dollar. It's the same for the euro, for the British pound, but I've just got the dollar chart here. Just look at that and think about that for a few seconds. If I go back to just before 2019, or so, $1 would have bought you 30 Hershey's chocolate bars. In 1930, $1 would have bought you 30 Hershey's chocolate bars. In 1929, 10 rolls of toilet paper. 1944, you could have bought 12 bottles of Coke with $1. 12 bottles of Coke with $1 in 1944. In 1953, 10 bags of pretzels, 1 drive-in movie ticket in 1964 for $1, 17 oranges in 1971, all the way to today, where with $1 you can only buy 1 McDonald's coffee, if even that. So the price today, the relative price of $1 compared to what it was before, is actually probably about 2%. Looking at this graph here, 2% of what it was worth before, or thereabouts. So that's crazy, absolutely crazy. And the reason for that is that dollars, pounds are being printed over and over again. Just at the touch of a button, we've got a pandemic going on. Let's print some new money. The economy is not doing well. Let's print some new money. There's no limiting supply when it comes to the dollar or the pound or paper currency. And that's why paper currency, like the dollar, like the pound, like the euro, are becoming worthless. Paper currency is becoming absolutely worthless. And at the moment, what it's saying is that the US money supply grew by $3.8 trillion in 2020. The US money supply grew by $3.8 trillion in 2020. That's huge. That's a huge amount of money that was pumped back into the economy from nothing, from nowhere. So the bank feels like it, let's print some money. They go off and print some money. With cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, you can't do that. There's a limited supply. That was equal to 20% of all dollars ever created. And if this continues, like I said earlier, the dollar is going to become worthless. It's going to be not worth the paper it's written on. In fact, it's not worth the paper it's written on already. The same is the case for the pound, same for the euro. This paper currency is losing value, it's losing fast. Inflation is going to kick in, especially with this monetary easing that's been occurring all over the place. Left, right, and center, inflation will kick in. Prices, we are already seeing prices go up. Property prices have gone up, food prices have gone up, and the fuel prices have gone up, and this will only get worse. And again, your bank accounts, your savings in your bank account are becoming of less value, in fact, worthless over time, because what's happening is that you've got the time value of money, inflation, of course, and henceforth, and also, sorry, banks are not paying you hard, in fact, they're paying hardly anything on your capital. And if you put everything into the equation, if you have a bank account, if you have money in your bank account, your pot is actually getting smaller and smaller and smaller, yet you don't see it. Because of the time value of money, because of inflation, your pot in your bank account is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That is why you need to start looking at other things like cryptocurrency. And I've just shown you a few examples here. Ethereum can go up in value by multiples of 5 or 10 this year. Bitcoin could go up by a multiple of 5 this year. If you put $1,000 into your bank account, would you get $5,000 out by the end of the year? The answer is no, you'd probably get $5 back, not $5,000. That's why you need to start looking at these alternative currency sources. Digital money is the future of currency, and as more money is printed, what you'll find, like I said earlier, is that your dollar, your pound will become worthless going forward. The governments will probably, it's looking very, very likely now, they will produce their own coins. So they will produce their own coins which are pegged on their currency. So what does that actually mean? It actually means that the government-based coins that they produce will also be potentially worthless over a period of time. And I've just shown you Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually moved up by was it 12% in a single day? And let's have a look. What was it? So Bitcoin is on the 9th of June. The difference in price for Bitcoin, in fact, from its opening and closing price, was I think around 12%. Yeah, it was about 12% in a single day. So had you bought one Bitcoin on the 9th of June at the opening price and sold it at the closing price, you'd have been looking at a profit of around $4,000. Can you get that with paper money in a bank account? And the answer is no. What you need to do is the exact opposite of what everybody else is doing out there. What the lay public is doing out there, you need to be doing the exact opposite, and you need to start looking at cryptocurrencies seriously. Now, we are training our students every single day how to invest in the markets, how to trade every single day, how to hodl, how to invest in altcoins as well. There's 10,000 plus altcoins in the market, according to CoinMarketCap. And we're looking at all these things every single day and training our teams, our family, our students to hold 6- and 7-figure portfolios. If you are not currently part of our mentorship scheme, part of our academy, please reach out to me and my team via any of these social media channels that you can see here. And in all honesty, I mean, what have you got to lose? We are heading towards the biggest, meanest bull run we've ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. And it's going to happen this year. It will happen in the next few weeks, next few months. And then, a little bit like Halley's Comet, you'll have nothing for a few years. I've just told you the next Bitcoin halving will occur in 2024. Once we've hit the peak of whatever it's going to be, let's say $200,000, the price will come down sharply over a period of a few weeks, few months, and then we get consolidation at the bottom of the market, and it's going to stay there for a few months, if not years, until we go to 2024, and then we'll see the same thing again with the charts. So if you don't yet understand cryptocurrency, I can't stress enough how important it is. It is the future of money, and everything I've seen now, when I do my research on cryptocurrency, has been positive, and definitely it is the way forward. Again, if you want to reach out to us, please do so via any of the channels you can see there, and let's get you started. Let's show you how to trade the markets. Let's teach you how to work from home. There's a pandemic going out there outside. Millions of people have lost their jobs all over the world, yet at the same time, thousands of people are now working from home, and those that are working with us have now become financially free through their 6- and 7-figure portfolios. Is it not about time that you do the same? My name is Dr. Jav. It's been great speaking to you. Please let me have your questions so I can answer them on forthcoming calls. And I do have content for my call tomorrow, but definitely give me your questions so I can answer those questions and show you how to become financially free through cryptocurrency and or forex trading. We do forex trading as well. We trade commodities, indices, the stock market. And again, going back to what my mentor said all those years ago, he said to me, if you want to be financially free, Dr. Jav, you have to do one of 3 things. What he said to me was, you have to be invested in real estate. You have to look at internet marketing or e-commerce. And the third thing he said was financial services. So luckily I have my fingers in all 3 of those pots. And if you want to be financially free, what I'm saying to you as a friend is for you to look at the financial services market, because at the moment we are heading towards a massive bull run like we've never seen before, and you need to ride this wave all the way up to the peak. You need to ride the wave that we are going to be seeing very soon, all the way up to the peak, and you need to derive those profits as we go up towards that peak. We won't see this again for another 3 or so years. So mark my words, make a note of it, reach out to me, and either myself or my team will show you how to get started. My name is Dr. Jav. Again, thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next video. And please do subscribe, like, and share this video, and I will see you very shortly. Thank you.